What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 48 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Malekith and Naggarond Inc. campaign. As the armor of contempt failed to gird your soul, as your shield of civilization lost its luster, worry not, for Naggarond Inc.'s master miserists are ready to polish that shield with blood. Naggarond Inc., the shield of misery. So as we saw last time, the Iron Dragon faced off against the Lathakir, the Sea Dragon slash Lokir Fellheart, and was not a Failheart at all, as we were able to hunt down the Iron Dragon and probably the last of his armies. He does still have one settlement remaining, but it shouldn't be a big deal. Otherwise, we're here ending that last episode, or we left off with this little attack, as Tehenhauin has moved in to attack Druki resources, wherein they are not protected by Loki or by Rakarth, which should be a pretty interesting time. We do have our full HP Medusa here, but we do have Tehenhauin himself to contend with, so it should be a pretty interesting time. Sorceresses are here, so we will have access to a decent amount of spells, though, and, well, even if we lose a few Harpies or something, we shouldn't be too worried. I am concerned about losing the Saber Tusks, though, since we have no way to acquire any more of them or the Feral Bears, so we'll have to be a little bit careful with those units, but, well, let's hope that we can pull it off. Here we go. Very, very well, and let's hope that this fight is going to be very, very interesting, and I certainly think that it should be. Obviously, the AI attacked us, and generally speaking, if the AI is brave enough to attack you, you can generally expect a more interesting battle than when it runs like it usually does, especially since Barsathar's army is a follower army, and it is a hurt follower army facing off against the legendary likes of Tehenhauin. Oh, Fireleech Bolas coming in, but going wide, as we're going to start the battle off by having our Scourge Runner Chariot Beastmaster riding around, trying to dodge bolas and hit those bolas back with those hits from the chariots. Not that that's going to matter that much, and we can ignore them now and head for the Chameleon Skinks that were supporting them, while the Manticore take care of the actual Pterodon riders. Alrighty, going through the trees. Dude, I feel like trees, you know how trees slow down large units? Do they slow down air units? I feel like they should, if air units actually fly through them. But anyway, it looks like the Manticores are doing a pretty good job. The enemy only sent 2 units forward to annoy us as their vanguard, a single unit of Chameleon Skinks and a single unit of Pterodon Riders with Fireleech Bolas, but the main stack is still moving in. So just an opening skirmish, as it were. The Harpies have arrived as well, and they're going to hopefully overwhelm the remnants of that set of Fireleech Bolas, though Tehenhauin is quickly moving in to try to help them out. And in fact, he is going to see the blob of Harpies that we have, and he's going to cast his own, upgraded, mind you, Flock of Doom. Or at least he did. Oh, did he cast it on the ground here, and then I guess it doesn't persist on these units? Well, either way, he can cast again, and that's a very, very nice Amber Spear. I personally don't use this ability a lot, but look at that. Very, very nice. I was not expecting him to hit so many of them at the same time. I guess it was my fault for blobbing them up, trying to get that last Pterodon Rider with Fireleech Bola. But yeah, I should have left the Manticores to do that. Not that it was a crazy amount of actual damage to the Harpies, but certainly a decent amount of their models have been destroyed. We're going to have to back them off lest they be chased down or killed by Tehenhauin, as we will need them to chase down the enemy Chameleon Skinks and such instead. Anyway, here comes Tehenhauin, and we should be able to chase him down. Fortunately for us, he is on a Ripperdactyl, and thus not his Engine of the Gods, which we would probably be much more wary of. He's going to come down and go after one of our Beastmasters, which, well, obviously a Beastmaster wouldn't win, being on a Scourge Runner chariot, as he is, but that's okay. You can just sit here, wait for the Manticores to come down, and then buff up both Manticores with that Whiplash ability to make their damage 845, which is pretty significant, and then allow them to kill off the Tehenhauin. In the meantime, our army is moved in, and we've got our railgun firing Medusa going after the enemy Fire Leech Bolas. And they're going to try to drop bombs on our Scourge Runners. Kind of an interesting decision on their part. I'm actually surprised that the railguns don't knock models of Fire Leech Bolas or Pterodon Riders out a little bit more often. But there we go. Looks like it just takes some more than one hit to kill a model, which I guess does make some sense. They do, let's see. Actually, they do 750 damage per hit. That's pretty good. Obviously, that does get resisted, but yeah. Oh, and obviously that's also probably just the average based on reload, not, yeah, reload time 4 seconds. The actual damage isn't that high. I was wondering if the Alpha Strike would be sufficient to knock out a single model of a Pterodon Rider, generally with a single shot, but it doesn't look like that that is the case. Anyway, the enemy is still moving in with the vast majority of its host, but they have moved a single unit of skink cohorts in. We're still waiting in the wings with our Harpies, but Tehenhauin, by the looks of it, will be going down shortly. Also moving our Saber Tusks and the Feral Bears in. I actually don't like Saber Tusks as a unit. Well, on anybody but ogres, generally, but even then. Any unit that is fragile but goes into rampage is generally problematic, because as soon as they rampage, a lot of the time they just become useless. Or get themselves into a situation where they get themselves killed. But, you know, it's Ricard's follower army, and he has to have at least some of these extra monsters. Anyway, Tehenhauin now fighting a Medusa and our Manticores, and is, well, down he goes. That's what he is. We're going to start casting ourselves as a Flock of Doom hits the enemy just as they hit us earlier, and the battle is well and truly joined. Lots and lots of skinks about to get hit by Harpies. Obviously, we're going to have them focus down the range enemies, so whether it be skink cohorts with javelins or whether it be chameleon skinks, it doesn't really matter. We also have to remember that, ooh, there's a Penumbral Pendulum coming down. Have to remember that our Harpies cause bleed damage, so they are sort of a glass cannon sort of deal. And against weaker infantry units like this, they should be able to dish out a lot of damage reasonably quickly. We haven't had a lot of action for our Harpies in the campaign so far, so it's nice to see them actually do a little bit of damage. I should try to get another Harpy follower army on the field, though in our flyer army we will have additional Harpies as well, so yeah. The numbers are increasing. There's a lovely looking pit of shades coming down on the biggest blob of enemies. I was hoping to activate that murderous prowess as fast as possible. Obviously it won't affect our monsters because this isn't actually Ricard's army, but it will activate on our basic units. The bear is still fighting together with the Saber Tusk as well, and damn, Saber Tusks are big. I feel that Saber Tusk could very much easily swallow a skink if it should desire. We do also have to be careful with our single unit of feral bears. Don't want to lose those guys. Alrighty, and our Harpies are still doing work and chasing after the enemies. Medusa running through the back lines of the enemies, but I guess this one was a little bit less of the Medusa show and a little bit more of the Harpies and the other monsters. Otherwise, the bounce power is about, let's say, 85% in our favor, and the battle looks to be nearly over. The second Lord is still... Right, is this the third one? No, it's the second one. We only had two, I think. Well, they'll have none soon enough as the Manticores come in to assassinate him as well. Once again, and I'm going to continue saying this, I've been very impressed with the Manticores. I never used to like the unit all that much, and generally didn't use them, but we've been using them quite a bit in this campaign. I think it's worked out quite well in the situations where we did use them. There we go, down goes the enemy Lord, following the footsteps, skink steps, of Tehenhauin. Wing beats, because I guess he was flying, but anyway. And with that, the battle is ours. Not too bad at all. Even some of our garrison units managed to survive. even though they started the battle with 10 units apiece, but I guess it was fairly tough for the basic enemy skinks to bring them down, and the damage that was supposed to come through all the skink cohorts with javelins, which do quite a bit of damage when they can fire, and those chameleon skinks did not really achieve much because of the Harpies' interference. Alrighty, well, if nothing else, it was a pretty darn interesting battle. I'm a little bit disappointed, however, in the relative ineffectiveness of the chasing capabilities of this army, and generally speaking, it seems like the Saber-Tusks are too big, as in their models are too big, and thus they get into each other's way, making it difficult for them to chase things down, and the Harpies are just generally bad at chasing things down, which is a little bit surprising, considering they're a fragile unit, and yeah, they're decent at dishing out direct damage to weaker enemy units like chameleon skinks, but you'd think that they'd be a little bit better at chasing enemies down. But oh well. We got ourselves 1,500 slaves for that. Damn. That's surprising. I guess, is it because of the model count of the chameleon skink, or the skink units in general? And we're certainly going to take that. Let's see if anything else needs to be done. Deathmaster Snitchy, you want a military alliance, but no, once again, we're going to continue selling to both sides. Military access with the Awakened, not at the current time. I'd like to see who between you and the Hunts Marshal's expedition manages to win the fight. Ground the punch. Is it time for you to declare war on us? No, you're just going to ask for a non-aggression pact rather than allowing us to kill you. Helman Gorst, I'm not going to do anything friendly with at the current time, though, Interestingly enough, the Knights of Caledor don't seem to have any kind of issue with him. Huh. Maybe we'll actually want to set up a trade agreement with him. I wonder who would dislike this. I wonder how Snitch feels about him. There's no particular way to find out. You know what, let's do just the trade agreement and we'll see. If the Knights of Caledor get pissy about it, then, well, it'll be an issue, but I'm not going to do anything else. Proposed trade agreement. I know that and the Nurglites, or Nurgle faction, won't like it. Military access with Archaon, no. Lewin, what you want? You want that military alliance. We will actually do this as soon as Garami and stuff is dead, but just give it a second. I want you to take Aquitaine for us so we can trade. Why don't you do something useful? A decline for now. We're getting there, we're getting there. And damn, everybody wants to treat with us, which is kind of interesting, but I guess it'll be something we want to do. Ha! Laura Lauren. No, we're gonna have to send an army up there, and yeah, now all the Wood Elves want to trade us. Really, man, I don't think we've gotten that many requests for all the friendliness before. Administration gains trait, useless, or we could get a Shroud of Death at the loss of 2 loyalty. I think we can certainly. And I'll have his soul for the free Shroud of Death. The Rod of Briars I don't actually care for, so I'm not going to bother with you, especially as 6 loyalty is a little bit much, so spare her, slay another, and let's see, a bunch of or traits gained, rather. Is that another Pestilent Scheme guy? Probably. Let's see. Ally mission successful. I actually completely forgot that we had missions, but I assume by virtue of them all being successful at roughly the same time that they were for defeating Tehenhauin. Hey, journey complete for admin, and then you need to move down here and then into this area. Yes. And is there another island that's like a remnants of battle? No, these are all fighty islands, unfortunately, which means you're going to have to go right out here, and you're going to have to wait, unless this is another mysterious island now. Alright, you're going to have to wait for your troops, Canovale. It's okay, though, not a big.
I approve of these dark.
Do we still need the Estates of the Master? Well, I guess it is casualty replenishment rate, so yes, we will still need to keep the Estates of the Master. Lokir, you have done your job, or in the sense that you have killed off the Iron Dragon. Let's finish off this little remnant of his army, and I should get back to doing everything in order. You can also heal up. It's not much, but it will prevent us from having to deal with anything else heal-wise. Yeah, they really do like us. These guys still alive? No, it looks like Grimgor has destroyed them, and thus they have no territory remaining, and will thus be dead. Shortly. Fantastic. Alrighty, so while we're here, Lokir, go chase down this final little army. You can move into Chiang, or just outside Chiang, actually, so you don't get sieged. Also repair this. Man, the faction is dead, and they still keep damaging our buildings. Hunt down Baotang, and then you, Malice. I think you should just be able to auto-resolve this. Yeah, it's kind of garbage. Just do this. Let's see if the game will let us auto-resolve, and yeah, low casualties, even with the chariots in this army, so we'll instead have him go somewhere else. We're going to, I guess, occupy the place. Not that we really care about Jungles of Qian. I'm still not sure whether this faction actually does revive with the endgame or not. I'm gonna have to look it up. Don't collect the income here, though. Let's go into demand highborn hostages, and then we'll immediately go for, I think, growth, because we are really low on growth. In fact, we'll pop the slave drive just so it grows a little bit faster. It's also a good place to have one of those public order spread to nearby buildings, so we'll definitely want to set one of those up. Ooh, you're certainly dropping in your control. Definitely gonna need an administrator here as well. Okay. Well, anyway, let's keep everybody else moving. First of all, Mali, you're gonna go down here. And we're gonna finally transfer those Manticore Lords. I see Ikat Claw, whose defeat trait is actually pretty good, the free research, though we don't really care about him right now. Are you able to steal tech from here? Yeah, okay, good. Not another critical failure, at least. Especially since we currently have 4 R&Ds who had critically failed. Let's go for Manticore Lords in Malekith's army. Ferry, you can then transfer to Marathi, the Doomfire Warlocks. Since we don't have another Doomfire Warlock army, we'll replace the Witch Elves, since, well, frankly, we have plenty of them. And there we go. With that, Marathi's army is complete. I was considering giving her another assassin, but I think since they don't buff Doomfire Warlocks like they buff the Dark Riders, there's no real need. So Marathi, it is time for you to head down to Orion's camp. You have a long way to travel, and hopefully we can have the Troll Vanquisher meet you there. Malekith, you will suffer attrition here, so let's just go there, and then you can move across to Morgar and hopefully follow him and get his defeat trait before fighting the Wood Elves. It's a good form of prep for it, I think. Mave, you are going to go up here with your High Elven army, and then Fairy, I guess these units are no longer needed. At the very least, the Shade unit, regular Shade unit, is certainly not needed. These might be transferred to a follower army, but for now you can just head daily and wait. Oh, actually, you know what? We could transfer the Witch Elves to the Life Quencher's army. I was actually going to build some. That works. That actually really works. You go up here.
Of the Dark Convent.
Yes, Sorcerers of the Dark Convent. Then, what do we have here? Basically nothing in Montfort. These guys are pretty, by the looks of it. I'm actually wondering whether we should bother actually attacking them right now. And I think the answer to that is we should wait a little bit. In the sense that we can keep getting, and we can keep using our R&Ds to annoy these guys, and continue getting friendly relations with other factions by doing so, while not actually directly fighting them. We can wait until the end is announced, and then destroy them right before the Wood Elves get upsetty about everything that's been going on. Now, Vladdy, can Hellebron reach you? No, not quite yet, but soon. Alright, so Hellebron, I'm going to want you to move into raiding stance and move right here into Sylvanian territory. And then we will keep your Black Ark right here.
Plotting a course. I thirst.
Yeah, you thirst. Dread expansion. Alright, fantastic. And then we can hopefully attack Vlad next turn and get a nice fight for us. Not that it would be a particularly difficult fight. Ooh, I'd actually love to see Fellbats versus Harpies and see which one would be more effective. Oh, also, we do have extra Witch King's authority. Now, we do want to get on time, but I think first, let's get Call Upon the Sorceresses for the extra magic item drop chance. Mostly because, oh, we could also pop the Witch King's Command and increase. Well, you know what? Let's pop Witch King's Command after Sacrifice to Hecate is over, rather than wasting the Witch King's authority, because Sacrifice to Hecate will already do enough hero action success chance that the R&Ds should be able to handle themselves. Instead, we do the magic item drop chance just for a little bit of extra items before the end game, I think. 181. It's getting pretty ridiculously expensive at this point. Nonetheless, we do at least one of these. Yeah, call upon the sorcerers. Why not? And there you go. That may be the only time we ever bother to use this. Especially as we won't be needing magic items after defeating all the Wood Elves. Anyway, Hellebron, stay here, wait for Vladi. Then we can move, let's see, Druki resources, Malice is good. I'd love to go to next. Sharky, we're going to go right here. And move back around to Norska, where you can start attacking them as soon as they're ready, or you're ready for it. Enslave to recover. We do still have materials at sea. And Overseer, and this is good. I guess we could sail down here, but if we're going to attack Norska anyway, there isn't too much of a purpose in it. Start moving back this way, we'll have Corvus join. Yeah, I just want to double check that we didn't instantly get a... confident. I mean, it's better than what Corvus has, but honestly, I don't care for bothering with another one of these guys, so let's just... here. And then... You've been moving all the way up here because you have... Oh, you have First Strike. Yeah, okay. First Strike is worth it. 10 charge, it's not much, but for those situations where we do get our shades in melee, and that is well, certainly worth our time. Admiral Valal, still no islands near here, but you're going to head out to the Altar of the Crimson Harvest, and by the time you reach it, we should be able to start that war with Norska. Let's get you expansion like so. Alright, next up. Was it Jaden? I do believe it was. Where is Jaden? Alright, so you still have the issue of we have no easy way to attack the... Attack this particular Skaven clan, which is still an issue. These guys are still allied with them, yeah? Alright, wait, Clan Pestilence, would you be willing to break your defensive alliance with Clan Spittle? Minus 32. Hey, funnily enough, it's not that bad. To think about this, if we could give them an extra territory, though, I think our human friends won't like that very much. Nonetheless, we'll have to consider. I'll take a look at the territory trading between the episodes at some point, I think, as well. Now, where are you going? I'm trying to grab the Southern Sentinels. Do we care about the Southern Sentinels? Probably not. Oh, it's... Huh, I didn't realize that. I just saw the Vampire Chaos, and I didn't realize this was the Dread Fleet. Yeah, okay, they can hold the territory here, frankly. If they were to take the territory from Luther Harkin, that would work. And it might make them friendlier with the Hunts Marshals expedition. Because they like each other.
I'm not sure if I want to cut a deal.
I preferred if they didn't attack each other. But anyway, well, let's move these guys. Rikarth, you want to knock out these little armies? We'll move Barsathar to follow along. Maybe not in Druki First Strike, though, like so. R&D, do you want to grab... Well, you don't have many choices. Let's go to Kayaks. And let's get you to... Well, we can't go to Mangrove Coast, so the Southern Sentinels for you. Failure, but at least not a... critical failure. Chupa Yodel, let's do that. Failure again. Oh, come on, come on. Maybe we start moving the R&Ds to annoy Clan Spittle. That could be a way to do it. Anyway, Druki resources, that doesn't change what you have to do, and what you have to do is move to Thrice Crest Peak and then start recruiting some of the... Where are we here? Roll throwers, 2 turns, there we go. 6 of them for Mr. Gatesmiter. Gatesmiter, keep moving out here as well, and we'll need to get you a couple of sorceresses. What type of sorceresses with the Blood Racks? Well, I would assume beasts and... Receptive Tough, yeah, alright. Beasts and... Well, fire could potentially buff up their range damage. Dark is... Now, you know what? I feel like dark is the way to go. I could also do Shadow, which would be pretty good. If blobs of enemy infantry move around the Medusae, we would be able to cast the Pit of Shades and the Penumbral Pendulum, but then again, we could do the same thing with the Dark Magic as well, and we have been getting a lot of the Shadow Mages lately. Yeah, let's go you, Intelligent. I don't really care about the upkeep all that much, to be honest. But, you know, why not?
Sister of the Dark.
There we go. And then we did recruit a Death Hag for this army as well. Yes, and we do want to have one, especially for when those Medusae fight in melee. Alright, lovely. Oh, look at you. You can upgrade some stuff. And go for it, but keep keep growing until you reach that next level. Anyway, let's see what we also need to move, or what else we need to this turn. So, Jaden, I guess you're just gonna grab this shipwreck. Do I have to wonder whether we should do it with you or with Admiral? Yeah, let's do it with you.
Sail, damn you.
It's probably safer to keep Jaden at full HP until we possibly attack the clan Spittle, or until Marathi goes nearby, and then we just continue ignoring. And, okay, you didn't really get anything out of that, but that's fine. Move back into this territory, and... Oh, you actually heal less here? Fine. Fantastic. And can Jaden... Well, Jaden doesn't need to heal, so you can just sit out here.
Supreme sorceress of
Alright, looks fine to me. And also, while you're here, and while we have the money, first of all, you're a Beastbinder, but it would take a while to get a bunch of units. I mean, if we spent 2 turns here, we could have... Alright, first of all, here's what we'll do. We'll delete you, and then let's get a couple of Manticores in this army. Then we'll delete the Doomfire Warlocks, because, well, Beastbinder doesn't help with them. I have a question. Does Beastbinder... Where are we here? Okay, so it's just I was wondering if it would help the various Cold One units, like Cold One Knights and whatnot, but it looks like it doesn't, which means that we can't replace you with Cold One Knights. I mean, I guess we could use other monsters, but at 3 turns to recruit them, it's a little... I think we'll just keep it to Manticores, and then we'll replace 3 of you guys with higher level version. There we go. And then these guys, or at least some of them, will be replaced by beasts. But why have rank 5s when you can recruit at rank 8? And, well, you certainly have the money to do so, if you desire to. Anyway, Rakarth. Ah, yes. You were going to attack before I got distracted by about a million other things. Yes. Go for Belhamel, and this should be auto-resolvable.
There shall be.
Especially since Tehenhauin lost. And Slave, I guess. And both those armies are dead. Crimson Death, Elf Servant, and now we have the ability to get you down to the Southern Sentinels. The question is, do we actually want to? I mean, I guess if we really want to trade it. Yes. It's actually a fairly good province with both medicinal plants and gold, and... Is this a port? Yes, it is. At Chupayodal and Mangrove Coast, eh? Huh. Well, you know what? Take this for now. I don't really care about these territories. We'll have to wonder whether it's actually worth our time. Oh, this might actually be a fight for Rakarth. I would like to give these guys a chance to move closer to it, so we'll give them a chance to do so, just in case. You can go here and go into raiding stance, I guess, because you don't have much of a choice in that matter either. And I guess we'll send you guys down to kayaks after. We do have to be careful about allowing the Skaven in particular to go to kayaks as well. And we still have these guys to worry about, though they don't appear to be achieving all that much, so not a big deal at the current time. Anyway, the Shellray, you can raid Orky territory. And while you could attack Orky territory as well, these guys could attack it as well. I was really hoping you'd take that. Oh, they... They sacked it, but they didn't take it, so we can't trade it. Damn. Well, there goes that plan. Let's hope they try again. Akanet, stay here until your new units get to you. Fairy, stay here until the war with Norska begins. I believe 7 more turns. Admin, you are good. Eladan, you are good. Vashus Barbstorm, you will need to move down. I guess the Tower of Ashung, but honestly, just stay here for now. I'm probably going to delete, to be perfectly honest. We need to replace you with an actual administrator rather than a Barb Storm. And is that it for this turn? And we find ourselves... Oh, right. Killian Kane Mark. We still have to move you.
Dreadlord, awaiting command.
Alright, down you go. Yeah, these guys should at least be able to reach where we need them to go on time. As into the Witchwood. And while those guys are moving, how close are we with Fury and Beastbinder? There we go. You guys go here. Andrew Key Resources, transfer all of your units to the Flying Army. Is there any Skull Island nearby? Nah, there's a little Fel Cargo here. I guess we could send this army to that. I'm just wondering if there's anything for them to do while we wait for them to... you also need a Sorceress, but the Sorceress is coming, so...
I have control. Feel my whip.
You could go grab this. Yeah, because you still have time to get to the Witchwood. Anyway, that looks good to me. Who else needs to move? Other than the admirals, I mean. We've moved Killian Kane marked. You could potentially get another army, but oh, you know what we want to do, though?
Supreme Sorceress of Grant.
And... yeah, alright. Keep recruiting those... oh, like... I enjoyed the Phoenixes when we got the chance to play around with them, so, you know what? Why not build more Phoenixes? Alright, let's do the Admirals next. Yorn Barbstorm, you are first, and you are going for more islands, so go ahead, please. You can also sail around here, but while Marathi isn't here to go to the Wood Elves and the Bowmen of Orion camp, you don't really have to do anything. I'll resolve this and slave to keep Black Arcs at full HP. Funnily enough, one of the really nice things about the Black Arcs is that is not just the fact that they're armies and can attack enemy ports, but rather that we get the past war with rogue pirates thing and military actions against rogue pirates. So I take it every time we deal with an island, we get a little bit of bonus Diplo. So that combining with the ruler's tolerance from our envoys means that, well, we're looking pretty good with a lot of factions by virtue of it. And all the general Diplo that we've been doing. Anyway, that was Yorn Barbstorm. We should have a few admirals to move. Lol. Ah, you're ready to upgrade to the final tier. Fantastic. Have you already moved this turn? Oh, you have. My bad. I put you into Dread Expansion, didn't upgrade you? Well, I guess I'm dumb. That's you, Valal. Leech, you do not need to move. Well, you cannot move because you've sailed down the River Reich. You're good as well, Canovale. You're waiting for your troops for a few turns, and you don't need to build anything. And you are waiting to upgrade it. Alrighty. Anybody else? RNDs. You need to start annoying Vlad. Go for Wordbed by itself here, and I'd like to keep an eye on closer areas to Draika, so if we know what's going on over there. And is that it? Mara, you're just gonna sit where you are, and there's a few more R&Ds to move. Funnily, a lot less now that a bunch of them have died to critical failures, but, well, nice you've succeeded. 21, wow. Do we even need to do anything with you? You're at 12. You know what? I think maybe we just ignore you. I'm a little bit wary of having even more of the R&Ds just die by failure. And either way, we got 3 turns until they can all succeed non-stop for 10 turns. So we really have to get them into position. Also love the fact that we've kept this. It's kind of hilarious. But anyway, I believe that's that for this turn. Other than Diplo and other than potentially building stuff, Grimgor wants to do things. Second Knights, Legion of Asgore, Goldtooth wants to trade. Northern Provinces does not want to trade, but they're up to 4 settlements. Looks like they've managed to recover a few. Fascinating. I guess it'll be something for Lokir to do as he heads up there. And I guess we'll keep Malice fighting the Ogres? Ooh. It's actually... Ogres would be a very tough sort of matchup for an all-cavalry army, wouldn't they? Because the mass of the cavalry would thus not be effective. Yeah, Lokir is probably better against them. Alright, fine, we'll send Malice up north then, and Lokir can potentially deal with the Ogres if we end up fighting them. We might do it just for fun, we'll see. There's no real need, and I doubt that they would stand much of a chance against us. Maybe we'll get a few good battles against them just for the endgame scenario or during the endgame scenario. Alright, and otherwise I think we're good. Now, buildings shouldn't be a lot because most of our places are pretty much upgraded right now, so let's go. Twisted Glade, you've reached tier 5. You have most of the good stuff, but you like the execution blocks, and you like the Dread Manse by the looks of it, so Dread shall be. Southern Yvresse, you are pro. Illyrian, I guess you are, well, we've still got basics needed in Ulthuan, as it is only just getting off the ground in terms of its economy. And I'll probably use a few slaves between the episodes to kick a few a little bit further. Shodel. We are keeping Shodel. Alright, for now, I guess you're going to go for the Black Roads here. And just for the extra movement for armies that are nearby. Bridge of Heaven, the Baleful Hills are really going to bother me. Maybe we can trade some of the Northern Provinces territories to these guys. We shall see. Trace, let's go to... We're going to... South Coast of Lyonesse. We do not actually need to upgrade Mousillon because we're going to trade it to our allies. We can... Oh, I'm not going to bother with Blackstone Post. Chakwa, You're also going to be traded. Cathik, you, however, are not, so we can grow you. And Broken Lands of Tian Li, Fukong and Temple of the Elemental Winds are both ready for an upgrade, so let's do that. And grow them a little bit further. Lovely, and this place should be growing quite quickly. Oh, we got more damn these freaking annoying heroes from this faction. They keep damaging buildings everywhere. Alright, Garrison Lord not moved, unassigned skill points, siege equipment. Where did we see? Oh, right. I'm gonna give these guys a chance to maybe sally out. Oh, I wonder. If we move Barsathar away, maybe these guys would be willing to fight in the field, and I'd really rather watch Ricard's army fight in the field. This might be a pretty fun battle for them. I doubt that they will, but who knows? Let's give them a chance. Move away, Barsathar. Could have actually popped you back into the Sentinel of Time, but whatever. It's not a big deal. This faction is broken, let's face it, so... Maybe with Talk Chick here. Go for a Karth, and we'll find out shortly. Building upgrade available. No. What building upgrade? Thought I did them all. Oh, the one. Yeah, the ones that are going to be traded. Yeah, okay. Well, we don't need to upgrade those. All right, Bane. Oh, I forgot about you, buddy. But you're going where you're supposed to be going. Not to worry. You'll get to Killian Kane marked, and then you together will defend the Witchwood. Alright, wait, is this turn 89 or are we going to turn 89? I wondered, will the End is Nigh activate on turn 100 or will it activate on turn 90? Well, I guess it's like a random... I'm pretty sure it's like a random thing, right? It's not exactly on the turn, it's between turns such and such. And I forgot what the exact setting was for here, but whatever. Military Alliance, yes, Carl, but not right now. Just relax. Wait, I know you love us. You love watching us torture everybody. I find the alliances with the Malekith's faction just generally hilarious. Just the idea of really more Boots of Brachus for a admin. Yeah, why not? And this is the horse that keeps on giving. It's just a dead horse. And Pathok got wounded? Are you kidding me? I am so frickin' sick of this frickin' faction. Now they managed to move one of our wound one of our Black Arc Reavers. At least it's only wounded, but damn, that's annoying. Okay. Evil Choir Masters go to everybody. Holy heck, what the heck is happening? That's a lot of Evil Choir Masters. Hey, one of the R&Ds is back at least. Technology researched, a bloody business. Lokir, you need to catch and destroy this frickin' thing before these heroes annoy us any further. I wonder if these guys will start liking us once this faction is dead. There we go. Goodbye. Goodbye for... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, I should have fought that manually. I'm an idiot. Please tell me we can still reach him. Okay, no, we can still... Oh. Okay, auto-resolve. Now they're dead. And their heroes will disappear? Yes, okay, good. The concern has slightly dissipated. Now we need to wait for your Black Arc Reaver to come back. I guess we could just replace him with another one, but at level... Well, level 8 isn't so bad, but... I'll just wait for him to come back. Sounds like you really need... Now, I want one thing, and this is what I want, Vlad.
Lord of the dead.
Why are you so hurt? What happened to you, Vlad? No. Vlad, you have no chance against Hellebron now. Well, I guess we can at least get Hellebron to duel you. It'll be a real quick battle, but he is at strength rank 2, so we should probably declare war on him. Normally I would have loved to ally with him, especially as it would make sense, but, you know, that's not what we're doing in this particular campaign. You were at war with everybody and you were allied with nobody. Wow, you're even at war with Disciples of the Maw? Okay, well, everybody will love us for declaring war on you. So...
Thou shalt treat me with the respect I deserve, or die.
Yeah, okay. Do we actually ask these guys to join us? I'm not sure that we want to. Don't call allies to help. I mean, there's a very decent... I mean, what if the Dreadfleet actually breaks their... What if the Ancestral Throng breaks their agreement? I mean, I guess we have armies up here now. Well, you know what? Let's call our allies to help, and if it fails, it failed. They both were willing. Okay. Always so risky. Hellebron, you're gonna fight this. Not that you need to, but mostly because I want you to duel Vladdy. We could get a few levels, but I'll do it between episodes. I don't think it's necessary for a army that's only got 3/4 of its HP. There's a nice Terrorgeist to fight in the air for Hellebron, but otherwise I don't see too Anything too problematic here? Here we go. Alright, well, it sounds like Hellebron understands the assignment, and will be facing off against Vladdy Daddy himself. Though his army is relatively weak, and I don't imagine will pose that much of an issue, especially considering we have these choke points, and that's where we can send all of our executioners and such. Now, generally speaking, the choke points are also quite valuable for the vampire counts. Many of you know the vampire counts are my favorite faction, and wearing down the enemy with piles of zombies and skeletons and choke points like these, and not allowing the enemy to break through while they lose all their vigor, and then destroying those units after, is a very, very effective strategy. It's just, well, you can't really expect the AI to pull it off. In the meantime, Hellebron has found the enemy Terrorgeist, following it instead of, Vlad at the current time, but, well, we'll bring down the Terrorgeist first, and then everything else second. And it's not like it's going to take that long to bring the Terrorgeist down, as Hellebron has brought down much more threatening targets in the past. And we've seen basic Manticores in previous episodes bring Terrorgeist down, so Hellebron on a Manticore is more than doubly effective. There we go. Down goes the Terrorgeist, and we'll be facing off against the enemy units here. Looks like some Care Knights together with some Black Knights. Care Knights are going to be a little bit of a problem in this army, so we are going to have to add at least a little bit of Black Arc support and strike them with lightning to reduce their numbers of magical effects. That said, we are starting to take a little bit of damage here, and it's not so much because of the enemy units, but rather because of this particular tower. It's a tier 4 tower with splash damage, and I regret not sending Hellebron after it, but, you know, what can you do? In fact, let's see. If this is going to hit, I want to see the damage on it. Okay, and of course it lands right in the middle of our formation. Well, I can certainly see a bunch of units getting knocked away, but I didn't know which particular unit got hurt, but it does look like at least a few models and got brought down. Over on this side, Hellebron is moving towards Vladdy, who's trying to hold ground here, and they even have a corpse cart. They're very nice. Unfortunately for them, it's a balefire, not an unholy lodestone, so they won't be able to hold nearly as well as they otherwise would, but nonetheless, it's a very good use of vampire counts strategy here. Choke point, fill it with zombies, skeletons, and a corpse cart to keep them alive. I would have done the exact same thing. And in the meantime, Vlad is in here somewhere, though I can't quite see where. Yeah, the problem with the Footlords. There we go. He's at 75% HP, but now Hellebron has arrived and should be able to bring him down. Well, let's hope reasonably quickly, but Vlad is one of the tougher lords in the game because he has multiple sources of healing and even tougher in SFO, so it's certainly going to take some time. Especially with all those zombies distracting Hellebron. Alright, get out of the way. At least the Knights are, I assume, enjoying all this slaughter. Die, weaklings? Well, I have good news for you. They're already dead. Alrighty, and I've lost sight of Vlad once again. He's below half HP now and is in weak binding, bleeding, and envenomed as well, down to about 20% HP and dropping, and it looks like he can't run from Hellebron. Neither can he run from his death bag, who I actually didn't tell to attack them directly, but, well, I guess Vlad tried to focus the death bag down, and then it just wouldn't disengage from him. Anyway, looks like he's disintegrating, and in fact will drop, and with that, the battle will be ours. The bounce bear is 90%. I didn't even get to use the Witch Elves, which is a little bit unfortunate. They were deployed over on this side, and I was hoping to get around the enemy and hit him in the back while the enemy was holding the choke points, but they just plain didn't hold the choke points long enough for the Witch Elves to get too much use. So far, it's been one of the problems with using the Witch Elves in various of our armies, mostly because a lot of the battles have ended before the Witch Elves got a chance to actually flank the enemies. On the bright side, however, that's obviously not going to be the case once we start fighting start fighting the Wood Elves, because, well, the Wood Elves do have a tendency to, have tanky units in the form of the Treekin, and that we'll have to bring down slowly, and on top of that, lots and lots of range units that are going to try to kite, and the Witch Elves should be fairly adept at chasing them down if they don't get pincushioned by the enemy range themselves. Anyway, just going to knock down the last of the enemies here. Executioners working together with the Sisters of Slaughter, who I continue to be very impressed with. And once again, I do think they work quite well with other units, especially because they're extremely high defensive stats. Even if they are, once again, vulnerable to missile fire. Anyway, close victory for us. I'm not entirely sure what exactly made it close, though these guys did take damage to this tower, which did finally get brought down by our flying sorceress. And I think, yeah, you know what, let's check. I'm pretty sure that most of the damage actually came from the towers and not from the actual enemies here. Alrighty, hey, a Banner of Eternal Flame, a nice find, and we actually did take a little bit of damage that time, though, as you can see by the amount of units killed here, one, two... I mean, what, the enemy has maybe 20, if they're lucky, kills on all these units, and yet we lost 129. That was all the towers dishing out the damage, and not the actual units. If Hellebron wasn't so intent on killing Vlad herself, which she did, she could have just destroyed the towers in the air instead, rather than allow them to continue firing, and it looks like our single sorceress was a little bit too slow at doing so. But nonetheless, it's not like it's so much damage that it's really going to be of any kind of concern to us. We're actually going to loot and occupy. We're not going to hold this territory after all. And hey, hit points from defeating Vlad. That would have actually been nice on Malekith, I guess. Well, it's not like we're going to get him all the way over here, and we're just waiting for Lauren. But anyway, with that, we are once again out of time, and I am going to call the episode here. Next time, Hellebron will continue annoying these territories and then giving them back to their original holders, whether it be the Empire or the Golden. Mix them both up so that they have potential to give us units if we end up fully actually allying with them, rather than just keeping them strong by virtue of being like sort of pseudo-allied with them in the way that we are now. Anyway, other than that, Malekith will move to hunt Morgur, who I don't see anymore. Well, damn. Well, he's gonna show... what is this? Is this a beast camp? I feel like that's a beast. We can move right into it, but it's suspicious that it looks like something is encamped here. Okay, I think that's where Morgur currently is, and we just can't see him. Gonna be an issue to hunt him down. You know what? Maybe we'll head and send Malekith to hunt Morgur down, and then Morathi to sit outside of Montenas for now, and destroy it as soon as we find Morgur, and then Morathi can head down to the Bowman of Orion, while Jaden can start off on that. Anyway, more battles to come as we continue moving to the endgame, which we're very close now, so stay tuned for the, well, latter portion of the Malekith campaign. I'll do all the admin stuff between the episodes. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.